Richard Adams, post-production professional, and welcome to this video. This video today is going to be about scene cut selection in Resolve. What does that mean? What does it do? Well, as we all know, there are a few ways to get media into Resolve. You know, you could bring an XML in, an AF, you could bring in individual clips, and that's great actually. All those three things are great if you're coming from, let's say, an offline perspective like Premiere, Avid, Media Composer, or even Final Cut Pro 10. But what happens if you have, let's say an example would be, you have a problem getting your XML out of Premiere, or you have a problem getting your AF out of Avid, which happens all the time. It's not an exact science. Or it just isn't linking correctly in Resolve for you. How would you get around that? You know, your client still wants your program to be graded, so what are you going to do? What you can do is export a flattened QuickTime movie, you know, and depending on what your codec is, this is ProRes 422, it's 1920 by 1080, 25 frames per second. So that's all we need, essentially, you know, depending on what your delivery is, of course. So if your delivery is nothing more than ProRes 422, then you're in business. So how would we bring that into the timeline, but replace or show all the edits of that film? Because at the moment, we've just got one big clip. You know, how do we know where these edits start and end, rather than going through it and eye matching it all? So how would we get around this? If your program doesn't have edits in it, what would you do? You will probably spend hours and hours and hours going through it manually and going to the next clip and adding an edit. We don't want to do that. We want to do something a bit quicker. So if I've got my clip here, this is not in the media pool yet. Let's just create a scene cut bin. There we go. So after we've made our scene cut bin, I'm just going to jump up to the clip I want to bring in. Right click, add scene cut detection. Click on that, and here we go. We have this strange space. And this space, we've got three monitors here. We've got left, middle, and right. So what are they going to do? Talk about those in a moment. And we've got this blank space with this weird purpley, pinky line. Well, this is what we're going to do. So we have told Resolve which clip to look at. And if you go down to Auto Scene Detect, click on that. And now it's going to go through the entire film. And it's going to auto sense where those cuts are. Okay, sometimes it gets it wrong, but most of the time it's pretty accurate. Good. So we are now in a position where we have got our cuts. Now, each one of these green lines is a physical cut or an edit point. This purple line is where those edit points are included or not included. Clips that are really high on this line, all the way up to the top, are edits that Resolve is absolutely confident that that's a cut. Clips with a lower down the scale here, it's confident but not as sure as these top ones here. So anything above this pink line, it's pretty confident it's a cut. Anything that's close to the line, you need to have a look at. If you've got areas of fast cuts here, you need to have a look at that too, because you might have to amend that afterwards. But the way we do that, we go back to the beginning and we go to the first clip. And if you hit the down or up arrow, you can go forward and back through the edits. You can see that these things seem to be working rather well. Now, let's have a look at this monitor, okay? The monitor in the middle is the frame that you're on. The monitor on the right is the next frame of the same shot, and they should be the same. The monitor on the left should be the frame prior to this. So the rule of thumb is, as long as the two shots on the right are the same, and the shot on the left is different, you're in a good place. So as we walk through, we can see that everything appears to be looking relatively good. Now this should be consistent all the way through. If you've got a music video or something with lots of flashing lights, yeah, you're going to have a problem doing scene cut selection, but this would give you the majority of the edits and the rest you can solve afterwards. You can see that we've got problems here on this graphic. Now what I would do in this situation is I would bring those in and amend them afterwards. I'll probably drop that clip in individually. But even this clip here, this low clip here, that appears to be okay. And we're pretty good. Now, there might be a point where you want to include or exclude things. So if I just jump back to this clip here, and you can see here we've got a clip very, very tight here, very close to the line. Let's just have a quick look at that. Yeah, we can see that there's some sort of light pulse here that it's not overly happy with. So we could choose to not include that. So we could raise that out. Okay. And then we could have a look at that afterwards. Now, I'm happy with that. I think those clips are relatively good. Any of the little niggles I can amend afterwards. But this is much easier than going through 1,000 shots and manually putting in 1,000 edit points. You might have this sort 100% of the problem out for you. If it doesn't, then it's fine. You can go to the troubled section and just replace the shot. Now, once you've done that, once you're happy with this, I'm going to go add cuts to media pool. Okay, these are going to take the clip that we're on and it's going to divide those clips up. It's not going to make physical new clips. It's just going to divide them up via metadata and then place them into the media pool. Close that down now. You can see, look, in our scene cut, we've got all these clips. You notice how they're all called the same thing? Well, because they come from this clip, okay? Nothing we can do about that. That's fine. Now, how can we piece this back together? I would jump over into the edit page, and if I need a new timeline, I go File, New Timeline. That's fine. We'll just call this Scene Cut for now. We'll keep it as an empty timeline, that's fine. Now all you need to do is grab the first shot, shift, grab the last shot, and drag them all on. And they will come onto the timeline in order, okay? And we play them through. We're ready to go. There are all of our cuts in order from your original clip. And now you can individually grade each one of those clips, which is great. I really hope this video has helped. Scene cut detection is a really powerful tool. It doesn't always work 100% of the time, but that's not a problem. Any clips that have weird lighting errors or fast luminance or fast camera movements, you can amend afterwards and drop that clip back in. So don't panic about that. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please hit subscribe if you have and get notified of more videos from me. Thanks very much. Bye.